Pew Party 3 is going down. Pew Party 3, powered by Silencer Shop. Q, HK, B&T. Some of your favorite whales going to be there, man. You want to be there. You want to come and look, man. It's going to be stupid. Let me just say it like this: shooting out of helicopters, fully automatics, everything. It's going down.
Let's go,
Go. Pew Party 3.
Say less. Welcome to Whiskey and Windage, the 2A podcast for the people, by the people. I'm your host, Mike from OCA, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Adam from Silver Bullet and Matt from Burning Powder. Guys, what's going on?
Guys, what a great day, man. I'm so excited for this show. Oh, I'm so excited.
Jacked for this show, bro. So happy to be here. I'm blessed.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a good show. We actually have Jay, the shooter, and Juan from PewCulture on. We're going to be talking about Pew Party, also their background, their history in 2A, what got them in, what really gives them their kicks when they, the real reason why they put these shows on. We get all that inside information, and it's actually a really good reason why they do this. And I hope... Dude, I really hope you guys listen to this whole thing because it's going to be so awesome. But before we talk about Pew Party, let's go ahead and turn it over to Adam for the 2A news.
All right, guys. So we're not going to talk about Pew Party too much because honestly, Pew Party we're about to chat about a lot. So let's go into
a whole ass show.
Oh, whole ass show. But guys, let's talk about Kalash Bash coming up in April. Gonna be a great time up here in Texas. Clay, the homie, bro, we need you on the show, Clay. We need you on the show, Clay. That's all I'm saying. But Kalash Bash, if you're a Goon Daddy AK guy, this is the show for you to go out there, compete, and show what you have with your AKs. And also after that in May, I believe we have Southeast coming up. Also,
Southeastern Range Day.
Southeastern Range Day, guys. Great dudes. It can be a great time. I wish we could make it to that one, guys. I don't think we're going to be there, though. I schedule is not going to happen, unfortunately. I would love to.
Yeah. I got a shot at doing it. I'm not sure. It's just a state down from me. I may make it, go to the go to the home of the peaches and also what are they known for? Oh, the pecans. Yeah.
Pecans. Speaking of nuts, and I know a lot about nuts. Man.
Shout out
Georgia.
JT.
Guys, man, there was some freaking acorns this week, guys. Acorns. Everywhere. Like first, I thought when I first thought acorns, all I heard is The Rock talking about his stupid thing that he invested in. I'm like, that guy's a moron. But no, actually, acorns, bro. Apparently, they sound like gunshots. I didn't know this. I don't know. Apparently, an acorn sounds like a gunshot. And if you hear an acorn hit your car, you should shoot into it, like some police officers did, unfortunately. I don't know.
Yeah, let me give you the rundown. So basically, homeboy gets detained, gets cuffed, gets put in the back of the car, and there's two officers. One is at the house speaking to a lady, getting details and getting her side of the story, while the male officer is actually putting this guy in the car. After he puts him in the car, he shuts the door. He's standing there. He's walking off. When you see the body cam footage, an acorn falls, hits the trunk or hits the roof of the car, causing this guy to freak out, run towards the back of the car, pull his gun, fall down, and then proceed to fire into the car. Well, it gets better because homeboy not only fires into the car, he then goes on the radio talking about an officer down because he felt numbness in his leg. And so his partner comes over and proceeds to mag dump into the same car.
We're not into cop bashing around here.
I'm not into cop bashing, and I support the blue. I back the blue.
Tyler, we love it. Tyler, we love you. But
dude, dang. Yeah, I back the blue, but let me just do a quick one. We're just gonna say I'm assuming they're holding 17, but let's just meet in the middle. Let's just say there's 15 rounds in each mag.
Oof.
what I learned here is our interviews with all of our law enforcement buddies, whether it be Tyler, whether it be Apex, whether it, God, we've got so many different law enforcement friends, whether it be Megan McCarthy.
Yeah.
You look at all this, and we just dumped 30 rounds into our own cruiser, and they do not get enough training.
Oh.
Thank God, not one round hit this guy.
Not one, dude.
Marksmanship, guys.
And I don't know if that's a miracle or if that's just a cry for training. I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad he did not get hit.
It's a cry for training. Mike, it's a cry for training because training would have taught them not that acorns don't sell like gunshots. So,
well, it's funny that you say that because the chief of police, after the guy resigned, said that they are actually going to be using this for training opportunities because it is possible that a falling acorn can resemble gunshots.
No, not at all.
So these guys can be prepared to distinguish the difference.
I can totally understand, him being on guard, taking the dive, finding cover to assess what's going on. But like, homeboy hit the ground and immediately just started dumping into his own car. And
Man, they're setting some precedents, though.
Tight spot.
They are setting precedents. So all of you gun-loving, gun-owning people, if you're worried about that other 3-letter government entity coming to visit you, I highly suggest you cut down all of your fucking acorn trees.
Yes.
If you love your dog.
Yeah, facts. And guys, I think that that's the best 2A news we've ever had, and that wraps up the 2A news.
So before we get on with the 2A Spotlight and talk with Jay and Juan, Matt has a review this week, and he's going to give us a quick 30-second to a minute rundown on what we're going to see.
Hell yeah. So everybody, make sure to get over and check out Whiskey and Windage Reviews. Subscribe over there if you haven't. I've got a brand new review that just launched this week. It's my shit hits the fan rifle. So the one rifle in my collection that if I had to pick up and get to work, what rifle is that going to be?
It's an AR. It's an AR. It's an AR.
Yeah.
Is it an AK?
It definitely is an AK. It's a Romanian
They've done studies,
AKM.
60% of the time, it works every time.
You know it does, baby. You know it does. It might be ugly. It might be inaccurate. But she's a runner, dude. She's a runner. So
Hell
it's
yeah.
my Romanian AKM. The one you always see on Burning Powder Kicking Brass.
High school prom date.
Laura, I'm sorry. They're assholes.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
For our 2A Spotlight, we are joined by none other than Jay the Shooter and Juan from PewCulture. And we're actually going to be talking a little bit today about an event they have coming up in Texas. So, Juan, Jay, how you guys doing?
Man, doing good, man. Thanks for having us on the podcast.
We are definitely pleased to be here. We've been pretty busy from SHOT Show. So this is a nice, welcome, relaxed talk that we can have.
Hell yeah. Did you guys, did either of you get the SHOT Show crud while you were down there, or is everything cool?
No, we were pretty good.
Yeah, fortunately,
Jay?
man, this is probably the first time I didn't get the crud from SHOT Show or any other event in NRA.
Hey, man.
Very grateful,
God
man.
bless. God bless.
Absolutely, man. So I think what we did, what kind of saved us is we went to SHOT Show, we did our bidding. In the evenings, we didn't go out and party or anything. We went back to our Airbnb, and we grinded it out, strategized, looked at what was on the agenda for tomorrow. So we were really some really good church boys, as you'd say,
It was business.
It was business, and we treated it as such, man.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of people definitely weren't so lucky. I heard quite a few people
I have
got
lots of
pretty
friends that
darn
were not.
sick.
Yeah.
So coming up March 22nd, Waxahachie at Extreme Tactics, you guys are putting together Pew Party 3. So why don't you take a second and just kind of talk about what Pew Party 3 is?
Yeah, man. So March 22nd, guys, is going down. We got some really interesting stuff going down for Pew Party. Pew Party 3, this is our third iteration. This one's going to be in Waxahachie, Texas, as he said. So now let me break it down. 22nd, there's going to be a private event. That private event is for those VIP ticket holders. It's for those individuals, the influencers. It's also for the companies, right? So we are doing a cosmic clay shoot. Okay, cosmic clay shoot, just like you see everybody with the neon lights here. Imagine this type of setting, and you're having cosmic clays flying across. You're shooting suppressed shotguns and trying to hit those. It's gonna be a badass time. Go ahead.
With night vision. With night vision as well.
With night vision as well, man. Shout out to Night Vision Network on that. So now we've been in talks with a couple of companies. Genesis Arms, with their Gen 12 platform, Suppress, and we got some other companies going to be out there. But that's the Cosmic Clay Shoot. That's the 22nd. You guys get your VIP tickets. You got a helicopter shoot experience that gets you access to as well. So let me run that back. So your VIP ticket for Pew Party 3 gets you access to the private event in addition to a helicopter shooting experience, in addition to some giveaways that will be specifically for VIP ticket holders, and you have the access to demo at no charge every single, all the different sponsors who come with their platforms for demo. It's going to be a great experience. Now, the actual range day is going to be on the 23rd from 10 to 5 at ETTS range in Waxahachie, Texas. So 23rd is the main event. And if you want access to everybody, you want to come talk to Mike, Adam, and Burning Powder, Kicking Brass. You want to go talk to these guys behind the scenes. The VIP social is the place to be on the 22nd. So go get your VIP tickets. All right.
Yeah, and for everyone who's saying Waxahachie, where is that? Everybody had to look it up a little bit. Man, it's about 40 minutes south of Dallas, so it's not a far drive if you're in the area, or if you're flying in, that's going to be your home airport. That's where I'm flying in, but it's not that far. It sounds in the middle of nowhere, but it's not.
It's not. All my San Antonio people, hey, we're like 3 hours away.
Yeah. Yep. So it sounds like you guys are shooting out the helicopter.
Man, I might. I might.
Oh no, man!
Hell yeah.
I see some tenderness in your demeanor there, man.
Oh,
no, it's not about that.
So let me ask this: Have you guys
I'll bungee jump? Do what?
Have you guys ever shot out of a helicopter before? Let me ask you that.
No.
Okay.
No.
I've treated patients in a helicopter before.
Okay.
I've treated patients.
Oh, that's
I
right.
bungee jumped out of a helicopter.
I have fast stroked from a helicopter before.
Oh, okay. So he's clearly aerosol certified, right? I'm aerosol, Sabalowski Aerosol School, Fort Campbell. There you go.
Yep.
Fort Campbell, man, about 2 hours from me north.
Okay.
Isn't that the aerosol school?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Absolutely.
I've medevac from helicopter as well. It's interesting.
He said it's interesting.
I rode in a helicopter once.
Your knees are real strong. If you've medevaced out in a helicopter, you got some strong knees.
Man, yeah, won't get too deep into it, but like when you have patients that are, they're hurt and they're hysterical, and then you add a helicopter to that. Especially with dust and
rotor wash is no joke. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So Jay and Juan, you both have made a pretty big impact in the 2A community, and you both have a pretty sizable voice in our community, and it's growing day by day. You guys are doing a good job of, some of the hardest working guys out there on social media and in the 2A world. How did it start for each of you? Did y'all grow up around guns? Was it something that happened in adulthood or because of military service? Each of you, just take a minute, give me a little backstory on where your 2A journey started.
Go ahead, Pew.
he said you got it. All right. So for me, funny enough, I really haven't answered this question very much. So my relationship, I'm not even from the U.S. So where I grew up, I came to the U.S. as an adult. So where I grew up, you couldn't have firearms in the way that you can in the U.S. So you don't have a Second Amendment. So when I got to the U.S. as an adult in my mid-20s, one of the first things I did was buy a firearm. I didn't even know you could buy it like that. I just walked into a Marine Corps exchange, and I went to get groceries and I saw guns. So I went and asked, and I was like, hey, what does it take to buy one of these? And they said, you have a driver's license? I'm like, yeah. There's like, at that time, you needed another form of ID that verified your address, like a registration for your car. There was like, do you have a registration for your car or a bill or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, I have my registration for my car. They're like, okay, cool. They're like, well, all you need is the money. And instead of getting the groceries, I bought a gun.
Man, good answer. That's what you do.
Sounds very responsible.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
What was the
Back in
first gun? What was that first gun?
It was
You
a
remember?
Smith & Wesson SD9 VE.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I knew nothing.
I've owned
Don't
one.
hell yeah, that's a crappy gun.
You gotta
I know.
start somewhere.
No, it's. Hey, you know
gotta
what?
start
There's
somewhere.
It could have been way worse. It could have been way worse.
You didn't buy a
could've-
High
Yes.
Point or nothing.
It
Like,
could
you
have
know.
been
been.
Springfield. It could have been a Springfield XD.
But what's crazy is I could have bought the Glock. The Glock was like maybe $100 more, and I could afford it. But the guy, I didn't know anything, and the guy gave me advice, and he said, save your money. They're basically the same thing. Get you ammo. He said, save your money. They're basically the same thing, and get you ammo. Get you some ammo with that.
He lied to you.
And
Not
and
entirely wrong.
he's not entirely wrong, but I should have bought
He's
the
not.
Glock because I eventually bought the Glock.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then so that started my 2A journey is in the U.S. Right. I did play with guns a little before the U.S., but definitely not on the level that I did when I got to the U.S. And I found that I really enjoyed it. I was in the military at the time, so I also had a lot of access to ammo and shooting and that kind of stuff at work. So that I basically volunteered for almost everything that put me in the abundance of ammo and guns.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Especially training. Like I would go redo training just to get more trigger time. When I was like scoring,
My
I got
man.
to the point I was scoring perfect scores on all my quals, and then going and redoing them.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we call that addiction.
Yeah. Yep,
Man,
yep.
what about you, Jay?
Man,
What got you in?
So I've always been fascinated with firearms, man, from a young kid. However, I grew up in a house full of women. Literally, I
Yeah.
mean, grandmother,
I
aunt,
did.
mother, cousins. Everybody was women. My brother went off on a football scholarship to FAMU. So I literally, my one uncle, he was, had a good relationship with him, but he didn't take the role of a father, right? So
Right.
I didn't even know whether he had firearms or not. There was one story when I was a teenager that it was a situation, right? A domestic situation, and I was driving from church, and we started being chased by some other person, right? So what do? We passed by our house and went straight to my uncle's house. So we had to rush into the house. So some guy had been messing with some other guy's ex-wife, and the person kind of got ticked off about it and wanted to come kill the guy. So we go into my uncle's house, and it was we dashed in. He ran out. He said, "All right, you guys safe. I'm gonna take the drama away from you guys' house, from your uncle's house." And he had this firearm with him. And at the time, I didn't know what type of firearm it was. I just know it was chrome plated. So basically, he went off. It was a little bit of a shootout. Came back. His gun jammed. The other guys didn't jam. And that's the first time I ever seen my uncle and the friend with the firearm. And I was very young around that age. I was probably around 10 or 11, right? So it was a crazy situation. But ever since that moment, that rush, that drive, although I wasn't in the car when that situation happened.
It's a lot of energy in the room.
Yeah,
though.
it was, man.
Yeah.
It was just seeing that as a young kid, seeing that situation, although it wasn't my uncle in the mix, it was a friend, and we were literally leaving church. It was a crazy situation. So from that moment, I was always fascinated, like, man, he was able to go ahead.
This podcast is going to be subpoenaed in a case.
is there a statute of limitations?
There is.
Just,
Right.
I ain't hear nothing.
Right. This
I ain't hear nothing.
this is not
I
this,
hear
this,
anything.
this is
Don't
just
worry.
me,
Nobody's
witnessing
gonna
my
watch
experience,
it.
right? So I was so fascinated, man, by that. So my uncle, he was a collector of things, right? Hats and all sorts, man. I used to go to his house. I used to try to find his firearm. I did manage to find the pearl handled 22 that my grandmother had stashed in a drawer somewhere that's been sitting and rotting and rusting for ages. But almost shot my hand off with that before going out in the backyard. The 22 long rifle had been in there so long that they basically you had to prime out basically. Stupid kid, just doing silly things, man, pointing things, and fortunately I never shot my hand or anything. But ever since then, man, that was even younger when I was younger. But I was fascinated about firearms, man. Got into it. Teenage years, guys in the neighborhood, tapping into firearms there. But I never really got into firearms until I really joined the military. The military is what did it for me. I was so fascinated. I was quartermaster initially, and I became a unit armor. And then I had a room full of M4s and M16s and M249s and all sorts, man. So
Learn all you want.
yeah, exactly. So now I was like, I mean, it was firearms to Ignacium at that point. Now it's field. I was in the infantry unit, so it's field work, and I was like, But always fascinated about firearms, man, and it just started. It kind of woke up something in me, and here I am.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
I
That's
think all
awesome.
of us
Guys,
have a pretty
I love
similar
that.
story. I mean, the details are different, but started off with either finding someone's gun or shooting in the backyard or going hunting for the first time, and it's like
Right.
after that you're hooked, and now it's obviously all a pretty large part of all of our lives.
I like that you didn't say start off with crime.
Right.
Well,
We glazed over those stories. Like those are the stories that we don't
wait,
tell.
hold up. You don't know Mike's story. Mike should tell you his story. Yeah, it's all. Bro.
Well, no, but what I find that's interesting about Jay's story, honestly, is when he saw. I mean, let's just face it. Like, two guys shooting it out in the street. I mean, there's some legality there. But what I find and what I took from that story is Jay saw the power of a firearm in the perspective of a protector.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he saw that the car he was in was, basically a sitting duck and was looking for safety and protection. And some guy comes out with, a chrome pistol, and all he remembers is it's a chrome pistol. But regardless of that, it made the situation escalate for just a second, but not with him and his family. And then it was de-escalated and it was over.
Well, that's not.
And his
Go ahead.
And there's more to the story.
His disability rating started there for hearing loss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
My man understands. My man understands. If you know, you know. If you
My
know, you know.
tinnitus also started pretty young.
Right. So the unfortunate ending to what that story is, although the guy did not catch that guy and harm the friend of my uncle that day, he ended up just kind of separating himself from the ex-wife, right? However, I think it was maybe 4 to 6 months later, the lady ended up being killed by the same ex-husband with a firearm, and this is one of my best friends' mothers growing up. So she was killed by the husband, and also the boyfriend, the new friend or whoever that was also killed by the guy as well. So, and this was in a fast food parking lot. So
Man,
so
wow. that just speaks volumes. Still going back, that stinks, but that speaks volumes of personal protection and
absolutely.
being able to protect yourself. And so, man, that's a sad story, but it's something that can it can happen at any time.
Jay,
so
I want to say,
People's got a gun, you gotta have one too.
Yeah.
it's tough, man. But Jay, I watch your YouTube a lot. I'm a fan of it. I love what you're doing. But I noticed, I'm guessing it's you and your better half. But there's lots of like little videos of you and your better half shooting together, buddy drills, and I love that. I love seeing it. I'm guessing that's your wife, if I had to guess. But I love watching those drills.
Yeah, funny
I did
story,
too.
man. And my wife, she was very anti two-way. She's not from America as well. She's from Zimbabwe, and when I was stationed in England, we had the opportunity to meet one another, and we ended up getting married thereafter. Coming to the States, we moved here in 2014 December, so almost 10 years.
Okay.
Like she did not want a firearm in the house at all whatsoever. And for years, I bought a firearm. I hid firearms, underneath the bed, anywhere I can hide firearms, right? But eventually, thank goodness that some of her friends convinced her to, hey, look, give it a go. It was at the early stages of me really coming into the 2A community, and at that point, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy what I'm gonna buy. Well, it was the moment that really turned our way when I bought my M107A1, and it was at such a bad time when I bought this firearm that, unfortunately, her father had passed, and you can't time a death, right?
No.
But I bought this firearm, and this big box came to the house, and the first thing she did is she followed me upstairs and said, "Let me see the receipt." I was like, I tried to hide it. I couldn't hide it quick enough. So when she saw and this is true story, no BS. She's right there beside me, literally over there. She's hearing this right now. She saw that receipt, and my heart dropped. I was like, 15. It was like I'm a dealer, so it was like 15,000 total with the M107A1, the Leopold scope I had on there, and the suppressor to go along with it. So, dude, it was at that moment she was really put off. So it took some years later where she finally, her friends convinced her to give it a go, give it a try, team with them, join, and she started to get into the firearms side of things. And thankfully I had somebody like PewCulture who could also, someone outside of myself, help train her, and he laid his efforts to really try to give her some tips and to the trade. Train with.
And also, I think it helps when you get to the point that you can say, they gave it to me.
Man, look, I think those before that meme came out, but I would have loved to use that one. But
That's awesome.
Man.
That's awesome.
That is really cool.
I
And
love that
I
guy.
just recently, my wife has started appearing on camera shooting as well. And she's pretty self-conscious, but like she's amazingly pretty talented for someone who does it as little as she does. And so I think I've got her hooked now.
Women are typically better shooters than men.
I was going to say
Amazing.
they're more
Yeah.
focused.
Yeah.
They're a step-by-step creature
She
where if
hasn't
you tell
picked up
them
a rifle in
do
6
this, do
months.
this, do this in this order, they'll do it. And guys, we're just dumb, and we're like, yeah, we hear you, but we're going to do it our way, and we fail
Yeah.
until we eat crow. So yeah,
Yeah, she
100%.
hadn't picked up a
And-
rifle
yeah.
in 6 months, and this weekend she just picked up an AR and
Hmm.
started smacking 8-inch steel at like 50 yards. I'm like, what? Are you?
You know,
She's talented.
big shout out to Miss Burning Powder. Miss Burning Powder is getting our YouTube channel blowing up. So
She
the
is.
reels, the shorts are fucking blowing up because of her. So
Yeah,
shout out to her.
Go check her out.
yeah, and hey,
Hell yeah.
speaking of shout outs, Jay, I think you have I think you've got, we talked about it offline a little bit, but I think you have a birthday shout out you want to mention? Someone who's coming to Pew Party?
Yeah, man. James, the 2A boys. James is his birthday today. So James, on behalf of myself, PewCulture, and Whiskey and Windage podcast, man, happy birthday. Hope you have have an amazing birthday, man.
Man, you
I've seen
can't,
those kids grow.
you can't do it, but we can for you.
Cheers, young man.
Yes, sir. So actually, there's even more great news with that because they just got their suppressor approved that they won at Pew Party too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So just
That-
in time for his birthday.
Oh, that's a blessing, man.
Perfect.
I love that.
Yeah, you know
Guys, I
the
love
ATF
that.
planned that.
ATF playing that.
So,
Yeah, they were like,
You
I
know
will
what?
give it to him for his birthday.
no, dude, I love that. And Pew Culture, you talked about Pew Party 2, so that's what I want to talk about next. So, like, we're going to Pew Party 3, so kind of tell us about, like, Pew Party 1, Pew Party 2, how they came about, and, like, what can we expect on this upcoming Pew Party?
Yeah, so Pew Party 1 started as a celebration of Jay and I's birthday. Our birthdays are a week apart. So we put it smack in the middle of our birthdays.
Hell yeah.
Smart.
And it was literally just that. It was a celebration of our birthday and a way to connect with our audience. You know, we wanted to show some appreciation for the growth that we had seen on our platforms due to, you know, our following and our supporters and stuff. So, you know, we did an event for them, right? it was not designed to be an industry event. It was literally a way to connect with our audience on a more personal level. Shortly after that, it was great. I mean, it was in the backyard. It was we had hundreds of people show up, and we had a blast. It rained, and we rocked out in the rain, and we were shooting MP7s in the rain, 50 cals, like just doing a whole bunch of cool stuff in the rain. And no one was, deterred by the rain. Everyone was just having a blast. It was pretty cool. That did well online, reached about 60 million people. Boosted, if you guys are familiar with the Tactical Turkeys, that boosted their page boosted from, I think, 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers to over 200,000 subscribers from a video that they did at Pew Party. So
that's viral. That's viral.
Yeah. So it went crazy. That's the video of them dumping the 50 cal, and all the dust just comes up. So
man, that video was so viral that Tyrese shared it.
Yeah.
Tyrese from
Are we talking about the upright mag dump of the 50? Somebody was like, "What's Pew Party?" And I was like, "Have you ever seen the upright?" They're like, "Yeah, this video." I was like, "That's the one. That's the one everybody knows of like boom, 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 boom."
No, he dumped it.
That was it.
Yeah.
So that did crazy numbers online. So then we got approached by Silencer Shop to kind of join on as a title sponsor. So the on Pew Party 2, it went from Pew Party to Pew Party powered by Silencer Shop. Right, and that became our arrangement with Silencer Shop. They partnered with us on it. Also brought on Q as a major partner. So Pew Party 2, we went from our first event to then having about 30 vendors out there. Right?
Hell yeah!
Oh, that was a big come up.
So 30 different companies out there. To put that in perspective, CanCon this year has 40 vendors.
Yeah.
And so we had most of the major manufacturers of suppressors out there, firearms manufacturers, FFLs, just dope. We had lockdown secure for the walls, just coming full circle in the 2A space, right?
Hell yeah.
U.S. Law Shield, just all kind of companies.
Hell yeah.
So we brought a whole bunch of people. We gave away $40,000 worth of suppressors and guns. So just a massive transition from Pew Party 1 to Pew Party 2. So with that growth, we're sitting there after Pew Party 2. Actually, before even Pew Party 2, we're sitting there like, we have to top this for Pew Party 3,
How are we going to top this?
How are we going to top this?
Right.
And the only way is to go up, right?
Yeah.
So we literally said, we need helicopters.
Yeah.
At Pew Party 2, we had Humvees with, belt-fed 50 cals, mod deuces mounted to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're like, that was dope, but we want to top that. So we contracted with Heli Concepts, and they're going to be providing the helicopter shooting experience at Pew Party 3. We've brought on some more companies, some pretty cool companies, to include HK and B&T. So, just some really big whales in the industry have jumped on board as well.
That helicopter wrap looks clean.
Man.
Yeah, man. We wrapped the helicopter. You talking about two little kids who grew up poor are now wrapping helicopters.
Yeah, fact.
Right.
Shout out to
Super
Expert Wrap, man. Expert Wrap.
Super awesome.
Expert Wrap, they out of Texas.
Expert
as well.
Wrap?
So, yep. They did
Hell
that,
yeah.
man.
Dude, respect to Americans, bro. This is what I love about this country, bro. Like, it don't matter where you come from, bro. We're all Americans, and we come together, and we just make things happen. I love it, man.
And it truly is the land of opportunity, man.
I just love a success story. I don't care who and how. Anytime there's a success story, I mean, human nature, because we're all human, and that's why we gotta ask for that forgiveness. But it's it's okay. It's a normal human feeling just to get a little salty or get a little haterade. Like, man, I wish that was me. But like, you got to cut it out quick, and you got to say, you know what?
Work harder.
I'm proud of what that guy did, and so make that guy the target. Try to top them.
Yeah.
I mean, use it as motivation.
Learn from them. Like so.
Yes.
So
You know,
just be honest. That's how I take
exactly.
it, man. So PewCulture, man. He's probably one of the more creative guys that I know. Right. So being partnered with him, I get to see when ideas are being spun up out of his head. I'm like, yo, that's a damn good idea. You know what I'm saying? So from that, what do I take from that? I'm like, yo, let me learn from that. Let me learn how, whether it's how we're negotiating something or how we're trying to create this particular piece of content or you know, our strategies to networking or whatever, you know. So I think that you have to, and vice versa. There's some things that I'm probably decent at that he's not. So there are things
very much so.
So there's things that we have to do where we can't like envy one another. We have to learn and use that to propel us forward, because we wouldn't be where we are right now if we didn't
play off each other's strengths.
play off each other's strengths.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, when I tell you, man, we complement each other so well because, you know, like it's, and I'm so proud of where we have grown to, because now when we have things where we call each other and bounce stuff off each other all the time, you know, even outside of our collaborative efforts, you know, even outside of our collaborative ventures, you know, we bounce ideas because that trust is there. I know, you know, I can share this with him, you know, hey, this is happening, whatever. What do you think, you know, or how does this sound, you know, how does, you know, and I will say, because we were coming from a place, literally, we built this from nothing, right? So because we're coming from that, the necessity to get creative in how we generate things the pressure is so much higher, right? Because we cannot use traditional means, because, you know, we didn't come from having the resources to do those things, right?
Right.
So we literally had to craft, you know, we have to look at barriers and craft a way, you know, through or around it, you know, and, you know, sitting down and coming up with those ideas is beautiful. You can ask Jay, man. I mean, sometimes we just have to look at each other and dap each other up like we really just did that.
Yeah, facts.
But you know, I think that comes from that hunger that you guys have, because I see it in both aspects of my life, where I see guys that, you know, were afforded these opportunities, you know, by others, whether it be parents or friends or whatever, and they get those opportunities and they definitely cherish them. And some guys work really hard to keep them. Other guys, they felt like it was, you know, it was theirs to begin with, and they should have gotten that. So when you create something on your own from nothing, you hold on to it a little tighter, and you have more incentive to do whatever it takes to keep it afloat, because, you know, you have all this other stuff in your life, but I mean, when it comes to that entity, that's all you got.
You know,
you got to hang on.
I'll say one thing to that, man. And you said something that just brought me back to an idea, you know, and I can parallel this with myself as well as PewCulture, man. When I look back at my past and some of the traumatic things that happened, I realize, and same thing when you hear some of PewCulture stories, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm literally not supposed to be here. Like, there was times where I was supposed to be taken out a long time ago, man, you know, and man, those stories, if we were to get into those, are really depressing, sad.
They're tough.
They're really tough times. So I think there's a level of, when you've been through something, there's a level of fearlessness that you embody. And I've embodied that fearlessness, and I know PewCulture has as well, and as well as you guys, where there's nothing going to stand in the way of what I'm going to achieve or the impact that I want to have, especially on our cultures, right?
I think what you just said, it rings true with me. One of the phrases that I hate the worst is when someone says, well, what do I have to lose? And I always tell people that tell me that, you know, you don't know what it's like to lose then. You don't know what it's like to come from without. Because if you said, what do I have to lose? If you really knew what it was like starting with nothing, you would never say that. Because you don't want to go back there. But I love Drive. Drive comes in all shapes, sizes, forms. And, you know, I just love a story about Drive. And you guys both have it.
No, I appreciate that. And guys,
I was going to say, Juan's got something. I see his brain turning. I love it.
Go for it.
So I'll tell you, like, there's when you talk about that fearlessness, like that really is present in our partnership, right? And sometimes certain things can be, because we're all human, certain things can be slightly intimidating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you, I won't give you details, but like, just the other day, I got pulled into a meeting with Jay over a product that costs $80,000, right? And and I just smiled. I honestly didn't even know what the meeting was about, right? Because I have a calendar. I just follow the calendar. Jay tells me where I have to be. I'm there.
Yeah.
So the product, and I smiled. The reason I'm smiling right at the beginning when I realized what the fuck we're talking about, right?
Uh-huh.
The reason I smile is because that fearlessness is like when we approach something, somebody else would probably say like, that's an $80,000 product. That's not for us. That's not how we approach it. We go $80,000. Okay, what's our strategy?
Mm-hmm. Well,
No, we can't do this.
Dude.
How do I do
Exactly.
this?
that's
Yeah.
hunger.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I gotta
well,
tell you guys that seeing Pew Party, like, I mean, I'm a nobody out here right now, but like I've watched it unfold over the last few years, and it's like you're creating this thing from nothing that's just only really to entertain yourselves, like your own dream of like, I think this would be fun to do with people and for people, and like just to see it manifest into just something that like could kill the industry. Like,
Well,
there's FUDs rolling in their grave like
Yeah.
a machine gun. What is going on
Right,
here? And
right.
it's like, do 2A your way, build it your way. I love it.
Well, I'd say not for ourselves, although selfishly there is a lot of things that we have on our shelves, right? That's for ourselves. But,
I got like seven.
Hey.
I got like 7 helmets in front of me
right,
right
right.
yeah, dude, it goes with the territory of being an FFL and an SOT.
Right, facts.
They're for the business.
Yeah. But what I'd say is this, man, is we do it for far more beyond ourselves, and we're looking to have, and we are having impacts throughout our culture like never before.
Oh,
like you
100%.
think back 5 years ago, you didn't see African Americans shooting machine guns legally on social media.
no,
And you probably go a little bit
Not
further
at
back.
all.
You didn't see it. Now it's for us to come out and do it unapologetically, right? For us to come out and shoot and really be the forerunners of suppressed firearms in our community, and really championing
Oh, it's
championing
huge.
it.
Insane.
Yeah, so that's the impact that we want to have, and that's the impact we are having.
Oh, yeah.
And through
And I will say that so now, and this is not a knock on anyone, it's just a different approach, right? So there have been individuals, minority individuals who have had some pretty big opportunities, right? And still do. However, I think when it comes to the way we operate, we extend our hand out to every other person and say, come on with us. So we don't hog up opportunities. I'm pretty sure anyone who's met us and spoken to you about us, they sing the same song,
Every one of them. Every single one of them.
We love passing on opportunities to people because we understand what it is to not get opportunities passed to you, right?
Yeah.
Because I've been around for a while, and I know a lot of people who've had a lot of pull in the industry, and never have they extended, hey man, let's do this, right? So I know what that is like, and I wanna combat that. We are starting a movement where we're saying everyone, we could literally, Jay and I could go shoot on helicopters and not pass on that opportunity.
Amen.
As soon as we get something, we think, how can we bring it to everyone?
yes. Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome.
That is the goal. Honestly, our whole goal of Whiskey and Windage is that our goal is in the 2A community, and I know you guys see it too. You have the gun industry, and then it's all broke up in little cliques, and it's the special forces guys and the competition guys and the manufacturer guys and these. And everybody,
collectors.
everybody just kind of butts heads, and
I hate it.
I look at it like, hey, if you're special forces, ex-special forces, and thank you for your service, but if there's a guy out there who's just learning to shoot a gun and just training the best way he knows how, I'm sure you know a better way. But
Exactly.
instead
Help
of
him.
criticizing that, either help him, and if you don't want to help him because you're just busy, just applaud the fact that he's trying.
Yeah.
Just applaud that fact. And what I like seeing about you guys doing what you're doing, I think it's very interesting because the 2A in general, like you said a minute ago, Jay, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you know, it's just a bunch of old white dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate to say that, but it's just a bunch of old white dudes. And I'm not trying to make it about color.
No.
What
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it about is it not being exclusive.
Yes.
If, as long as, you know, every man, woman, and child is, you know, whether you're born in this country or you've came to this country and done the legal things to become a citizen, every one of us is afforded the exact same opportunities. And
Preach.
while some people may be at a disadvantage compared to others, depending on what situation or how the dice rolled or whatever it may be, we all are guaranteed we should be guaranteed that Second Amendment. And I'm so glad just for youth, whether it be, you know, young, dumb white kids, young, dumb black kids, young, dumb whatevers, being able to pass on responsible firearms ownership and responsible tactics and just learning how to clear a gun or any of that, dude, all of that is instrumental in this movement that's bigger than all of us.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're all Americans, right? We're all
100%.
Americans, and I think Jay and PewCulture, I know three of us can attest to this. Like, once you like raise your hand, sign that oath, like we're all brothers in arms. It don't matter where you come from. Like, you're my brother, you're my sister, and like that's America. That's how America should be. I want it to get there. I think there's issues we have, but I think in our community,
Definitely.
people like us are working. We're working through it, and we're coming together. And I love what y'all are doing. And here's the thing: when you bring a driven person, one driven person, and you see what they're doing, but if you take you two or us three, and you bring all these people together that are just driven people. I'm not going to say men. I'm going to say people. And we all come together and unite. Man, it's no stopping us.
Right.
That's what I want to see. I want to see more. I want to see more minorities. I want to see more women.
Yeah.
I want to see all of it. I want to see all of
All
it
Americans. All Americans.
we need to flood this. We need to flood the
Mainstream media
entire.
does
We need
not
to
want
flood it
this.
all with just guns. I don't care
You know-
who's got them. Just do it.
You know what I want to see? I want to see more smiles because
It's
at,
too scary.
at the end of the day, right? We have all these, guys, claiming, I was part of motherfucker. You did 5 years in the military. I did 13. Jay did 20. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Or they
like you did
4
3
years
years.
in the
Damn,
fucking
he
Air
old as
Force
hell.
and want to tell me
You know
how
what
to
I'm
run a rifle. Like,
But I looked at youngest.
So,
I looked at youngest.
so but you did 2.5 fucking years in the military, and you think that you are entitled to make everybody bitter when they put on now. Having a gun in your hand is a serious thing, but that doesn't mean that you
For
can't
sure.
fucking smile and have a good time when you have a firearm.
amen.
100%.
Well,
100%.
I think Trey Knight said it best. Knight's Armament guy, man. He said, dealing in this industry, they are tools of consequence. And talking about guns, like what they do on a day-to-day basis, it's heavy shit.
Yeah.
And so if he wants to be able to joke around and laugh and smile and do that, like that's the only way he can cope with what these things are actually made to do. So it's,
Exactly.
but but then you said something else, Juan, and I'm getting nervous. I'm afraid there's only going to be like 2 or 3 more pew parties because I don't know if you're going to find enough candles. I just did the math that how old Jay is, and man, I don't know if you're going to be able to find enough candles for that cake.
Oh, man.
Especially since it's both your birthday parties. Like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
I mean, you have to call the fire department.
Gonna
Forget the
have to-
guns. We need a fire department.
Oh,
clear
Yep,
out the
yep.
candle aisle.
And then I don't know. I feel like what we have accomplished in this 2A space is worth celebration, right? To put that in perspective, I came to this country with a backpack. Actually, it was a side. I remember specifically, it was just a side thing, and it had a T-shirt in it.
Dang.
That's literally what I came to this country with, right? And to build all of this out of a backpack,
Bro, that's
an empty backpack.
Look at you shine, bro.
It's already a success. Already.
I mean,
You
bro,
know,
you're
it's-
illuminating yourself. You're literally illuminating yourself with what? $20,000 worth of helmets right now? Hell yeah, dude.
Champagne problems.
So, it's
Hell yeah.
But it's crazy. It's humbling. Bro, I will not lie to you. Somebody shared a video of Pew Party 1, right? Jay, I promise you, I saw that and I clicked that story and I looked at that, and bro, I got emotional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Good.
I'm like, yo,
It's
what
your
is
baby.
going
Look
on?
what
You know what I'm
built,
saying? Like,
dude.
so
Man.
because I look at even Pew Party 1 and just 2 years later, right? And I'm looking at Pew Party 3 and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I mean, we're doing all kind of crazy stunts in helicopters. Back when I was in the Navy, I used to try to get our pilot to do crazy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would indulge for a little bit, but our pilot now,
Oh yeah,
that guy is lit.
He's lit. He's
Yeah.
lit.
Our pilot now.
Man, have you guys? I don't know if you've seen those pictures, man. You got to go check out our Instagrams, man. We got some crazy photos.
Oh, bro, I'm watching it daily.
We're gonna
Right.
link them down
I'm gonna
here
be
for
honest.
everybody.
I'm gonna be honest. You guys are so big. When I go in there and look at y'all's stories, it's like I just start scrolling and I get lost. I'm like, man, these boys got content.
No,
Like,
that's that guy.
you got to
That
go
guy-
way back.
That guy
Killing it.
eats, sleeps content. Like, I'm over here. I'm over here.
PewCulture's content's awesome.
Yeah, dude. I'm over here like thinking of like I'm worried about all the logistics on the back end, like thinking about this and that, and my man's over there posting away like he ain't have a thought in the world. You ever seen those memes where the guy's walking in the store with his girl and,
Yeah.
and he's thinking about all the different exits
And he's looking back.
Yeah.
and she's over there do. That's PewCulture.
Oh,
The
yeah.
first is the
Jay,
chick.
and Jay, that's
He's thinking content.
Jay, that's us. Jay, that's us. So Mike is working all the back stuff, and me and Matt, we're literally on Instagram all day doing all the fucking cool
Just
stuff.
whoring,
And
dude.
Mike's,
Just
and
whoring.
Mike is behind the scenes doing all this stuff. But dude, and Jay, I want to say this. I appreciate your content, dude. I love it. I'm a big fan of your YouTube page. I love what you do, especially with your better half, dude. Those videos, they motivate. I think they motivate women and couples to get in together, and I love that. And PewCulture, dude, I can tell you right now, man, those airport videos
Yeah.
make my day
Yeah.
every time.
They go
Especially,
stupid.
dude,
I'm
I
not
had
gonna lie.
that
I've watched
young
like
kid-
3 of them to
Yeah.
learn how I'm about to take some guns,
Yeah.
and I'm an FFL, and I'm like,
Dude.
he does this pretty smooth. I'm gonna steal everything he's
Right.
got because this is gonna make it easy
Right.
for me.
That
So
young kid,
the-
that young kid though,
Yeah.
that young kid that was like, "Hey, you got guns in there," and he knew.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bro,
Yep.
his parents was like, "What is he doing?" So I'm over there, and he just like looks over. And he's like, "What kind of guns you got?"
All right, so I gotta ask you guys this, right? So we have
Yeah.
all the political stuff that's going on the left. They're trying to attack us left, right, front, and center. But the kids have Fortnite. They have Call of Duty, all these games. When we saw this kid knew more than his father knew. His father was grinning.
Yeah.
So because there was something within that grin that I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'm gonna go with it.
He
Right?
had no clue. Yeah, he had
And,
no
and,
fucking
and,
clue.
and he was
None at
he was
all.
holding his head
Right.
too. He was like,
So
"Oh my
the
God."
future voters in this country is that kid. Look
Yes.
at how knowledgeable.
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can thank him because and we're all guilty. If you're a parent, we're all guilty at a time or two. But right now, it seems more often than not, our kids, which is another show in all itself, they're getting parented more by the electronic devices than they are the parents.
Right.
Very much so.
And so, when we
And they
when
get
we
more
talk
knowledge
about
from them too than that school.
But when we talk about, the video games, I don't want to go down that road, but, I can see the argument of, yeah, they know them and they're introduced, but they also could think that they respawn, after they get
Right,
shot and they can come
right.
back. And it's like, man, but no, I love the fact what you said, though. I think the kids are smarter in the 2A than the parents. And I think it's because, there is an entire generation of soft ass people.
Yeah.
That
hate to
young
say that,
generation, Mike. That young generation.
my
that
generation.
young generation.
Oh, yeah, they're
our
so
generation's fucked it up. Our generation's fucked it up.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We didn't, but our generation. That kid, that generation, they hopefully can save us.
So,
Yeah, no, they have so much information.
That video gave me hope when I saw that kid and I saw
Yeah.
that he knew, like, That right
Yeah.
there was powerful. Like, I don't know.
He knew what
I don't
was
know
up.
if you guys understand how powerful that is. That was
That
was huge.
Yeah.
It's huge because you look at someone. Another shout out to the 2A boys, but you look at Keith, and Keith has ingrained that into the boys, and now the daughters, the girls as well.
Yep.
And then you look at some of the young female shooters that are in the sport, as well as some other young men. And those guys are, that torch is going to be passed to them.
Right.
And
Yeah.
hopefully the young man you met in the airport is part of that torch passing. Hopefully
Yep.
he's there.
Yep.
Because we need them more than ever. And, I don't look at firearms, going back to speaking about protection. Jay, I look at firearms as a means of protection. But when I grew up in a family that hunted. I don't hunt, but I grew up in a family that hunted. And my favorite time is right before gun season, because my dad, the uncles, everyone would bring out these guns, and we'd just make sure everything was zeroed. And that was my favorite weekend of the year, because I just got to get out there and shoot guns, and it wasn't about killing anything or harvesting or whatever. It was like, I'm going to shoot this beer can, and when it blows up, it's going to be the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yep.
And I look at it like a sport. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a sport, but
It is a sport. Yeah.
I look at it like that.
Our nation's
what-
first.
So I challenge people all the time, because you have all these guys, and they're the FUDs, but a lot of the military guys are guilty of this as well, where they try to box firearms into whatever it means to them, right? And
100%.
and so guys, they get on certain lives or whatever, and you see them just going at people and calling them out, and they go, well, I was in the military, so I like jumping on the live and being like, well, I was in the military too, my guy, and I don't agree with you. Because it's important that we understand that what firearms mean to you. Now we cannot deny what they were originally designed for, but planes were not designed to carry bombs.
Yeah.
They were designed, we adopted it for that, right?
Right.
So whatever it means to you, the original intent of something is very irrelevant, right? It's what, as human beings, we take things and we make them into what we want. Hats were designed to go forward, like you guys were, and I have it backward. You know what I'm saying? We take things and we adapt it to whatever the fuck we want, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Internet wasn't
America.
made to be this, and if the guys that invented it knew it would be, they'd have never invented it. But
Exactly.
Al Gore,
I
Al
appreciate
Gore
it.
never would have invented the internet.
Al Gore created the internet.
I don't know how many of you are using your cell phone right now, but that's not what the original design of a cell phone was for. So to claim that you're boxing in a firearm based on what it was originally designed for, or whatever it means to you, that's not what it means to someone else, and you have no right to impose that on anyone else. So I challenge guys all the time on this. You enjoy. Some people have no intention of using it defensively either. They just
It's
like
just
going
fun.
out and dinging some steel at some guys want to ding steel at 1,000
Yeah.
yards. Some guys that want to deal sting at 10 yards.
Yeah.
Some guys just want to shoot ducks.
Exactly.
Duck hunt.
It's interesting, and I what were you
I
going
was
to say,
that was
Jay?
a duck hunt thing right there, right?
Yeah.
I caught that.
Well, and just bringing up, we've got some buddies on another podcast that are law enforcement. They're cops, and when you talk to them about 2A, they are very pro 2A, but they look at their gun just like the carpenter looks at his hammer. It's just a tool for the job, and when they're done working, they don't take it out. Yeah, every now and then they go to the range, but they're not as avid into the sport or the profession as we are. And it's I ask him, what's your opinion? And his opinion is just, hell, I don't care how good or bad you are. If you're out there just trying to practice and be good, someone should help you with your form. Someone should help you with your reloading, your front sight, all of that. But I'm just glad you're out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
Yeah,
what's
for
most
sure.
important.
how would you? I mean, like, I don't know about y'all, but if I saw a bunch of guys sitting on a table talking about their tasers, I wouldn't be necessarily too interested unless we were shocking people with it.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
so, you know, so just like the cops, they have guns, they have tasers, right? So, you know, now it just so happens that firearms have a way bigger cult following than tasers do.
Right.
You know, I'm sure there's a group of
Well,
people who are into
Yeah,
tasers.
they got some
I'm
non-lethal.
sure in the dark web somewhere.
There's the kink. Yeah, there's the kink
Somewhere
somewhere.
on Instagram, dude. There's always a nerd for whatever the subject is. You can find the nerds for it on Instagram.
I had a guy come up to me, ask me one time. He was like, "Hey Jay, what do you think about the non-lethal options?" I was like, Your opposition is gonna have lethal options. You might want to have some lethal options."
You
I love
better
that.
have
I
some
love
lethal
that.
options, bro.
So,
Yeah, my follow-up question is, how good is your armor?
exactly. So Jay and PewCulture, I'm going to ask you guys this question because this is something I get a lot of flack for. But since you're my military brother in arms, I say this and I get hated on. 80% of the military, conventional military, not cool guys, 80% of the military is not proficient in any firearm. They might know how to take it apart and clean it. They are not proficient, and do not rely on them for your firearms information. I say it all the time.
I'm saying 95.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go with that. 95. I'll go with it.
I'm gonna say
Conventional.
95.
We're talking
Yeah.
conventional military. What do you think, Jay?
I agree with the
Yeah.
80 to 95% because let's be honest, 80 to 95% are not infantry. They're not combat arms, MOSs.
But even infantry, I'm a medic. I've been with infantry.
Right.
I've been with some infantrymen that scare me.
Yes.
My brother is a ranger, and I know more about guns than he does.
Well, I bet you he's
And I
probably
shoot better than
proficient at that one platform or a couple of
At that
platforms.
one job.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So-
And I'm not
Right.
saying he's not proficient at that one job, but I have more trigger time
Right.
than he does.
I can't speak on your brother, but here's what I can say. So you were a medic. I was a corpsman. Same thing, right?
Oh, respect.
So here's what I can say, right? So I'm gonna go with 95%. It's probably even more, right? Because even within cool guy spaces, right? You have to understand, even a fucking Dev Gru Navy SEAL, right? They are typically not mastered at one thing. They're typically they have to have
I
acceptable
agree.
levels on each platform, right? So
Correct.
whether that's weapons, medical, so they're not going to be the best at medical, they're not going to be the best at firearms, they're not going to be the best, but it's the combination of those skills that makes them dangerous, right?
Correct.
You know, a Navy SEAL, so Navy SEALs, they have corpsmen with them, right? So Marcus Luttrell was a corpsman, right? So, so yes, they have corpsmen, but they still have to learn medical skills. They still have to do TCCC and all the other stuff. But they're not going to be the best at it, and that applies to firearms as well, right?
Right.
So I've seen freaking, DevGru guys. I've shot with DevGru guys. Soji has shot with DevGru guys and outshot them. Active DevGru guys.
Yeah.
You know, and literally one time we were out with and again, that's not knocking anyone.
No,
right? It's not.
not at
It's
all.
not. It's not about knocking anyone. It's just the reality that it's an acceptable skill level is what you need to be
Yeah.
to meet those requirements.
And PewCulture, I'll combat that. I have two friends that are Green Berets, and I know one of them I can outshoot. But here's what he told me: yes, bro, you can outshoot me, but my team, my ODA, will out-murk you on tactics and murder you
There
any
you go.
day. That's what they don't understand.
All day.
Yeah,
All
day.
day.
All day. Yeah.
All day.
Well, that's the thing.
And
It's a
by
team.
the way, bro,
It's a team.
Exactly.
And dude, by the way, the PewCulture, the fact that I just learned you're a corpsman and I'm a medic, bro, we have this new bond. So just so you know, I love that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, we
Yeah.
we
So,
gotta
I
watch
do
those
wanna-
guys, man, at Pew Party, man. It might
A
be-
corpsman is a Navy medic assigned. A corpsman is a Navy medic assigned to a Marine.
So a corpsman is basically everyone's medic. So
Okay.
Yes, 100%.
So
Respect
basically,
the
but it's-
corpsman.
But
we
it's
go
a Navy.
we go with every branch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corpsman, a lot of respect
So-
to corpsmen. Corpsmen get a lot of extra training and a lot of respect to them.
So to pull this on to back to the Pew Party, I am very interested, and I know we're not going to have enough time for all of this, but give me the skinny, like the quick and dirty. What does it take to put something like Pew Party 3 together?
You notice Jay lost his hair.
I
And I
saw
got a
that.
few more grays down here, man.
He had it at Pew Party
Yeah.
2, and then it was gone.
It's gone. He had it right before Pew Party
Yeah,
1.
yeah, facts, man. I used to have waves, in my hairline, and they were never fine.
I like this
Hairline like that.
Yep.
No, man,
Yep.
it takes a tremendous amount of data collecting. I mean, networking, cold calling,
Flying places.
yeah, flying. Like we're on a plane, man, more than I like to be, flying different places, investing from our own pockets to make this happen.
Yep.
Really, it's so much, man, that goes into it that I can't even begin to explain. To try to pull out a collective of companies that you think would be a good fit for the consumers, to tackle some of the whales that we've been able to tackle. Like we said, man, we can't miss a SHOT Show. SHOT Show is not a luxury that we can miss, and also at SHOT Show, it's not a luxury that we can go and fuck off with our time. Like we have to be very intentional about every aspect of what we're doing there, what's our purpose, and conveying our purpose to, and getting the buy-in from the individuals who are on the other half of that, that table or that phone call. So it's a great deal of work. It's a great deal of learning. It's a great deal of failing. There is a lot of failure that comes with this as well. Great deal of lessons learned. Great deal of putting your pride to the side.
Very much so.
A great deal of sleepless nights, stressful nights, of understanding, man, we got to do this or that or the other. Time is something that you don't always have.
We didn't have enough time at SHOT Show, so SHOT Show's week was not enough for us. We needed at least 2 weeks of SHOT Show to get everything that we wanted done.
I don't know if you could have had the people stay that long. They were almost dead on the last day.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing that we learned about SHOT Show, right? So we learned we planned our event to be in March before SHOT Show, clearly. But what we learned is from October to January to the end of SHOT Show, companies are so fixated on SHOT Show that it's hard to carve out a slither of their time. So now, after SHOT Show, they're doing buy groups. They're doing all these different things. So now, between January, the end of January and March, we're like, oh, fuck, we only have this small window to pull these people in to get everything done within this very short amount of time. So you will never see another Pew Party in March again. So that's a lesson learned. And if
That's respect, though. I thought about that. I'm like, that's
good to know.
Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, I thought too, though, it was partially, I thought, and this may be part of your line of thinking, and it may not happen again, but I liked the fact that you did it after, because I also figure that trying to get all these guys to commit, a couple months, like in the fall, like, hey, commit to us, when everyone else is so fixated on SHOT Show.
well, it's an uphill.
Some of those whales are going to be like, man, we'd love to, but we've got a $2 million booth we're putting in over here in Vegas. We just don't have the budget left this year.
Yes, that is many. Yeah.
And luckily, a lot of the companies who have been out to Pew Party before were able to, vouch for Pew Party to other companies. So even before us, without us reaching out to them, they tell us, hey, it's very cool when we talk to companies and they're like, we've had Pew Party on our radar.
Well,
so
that's a testament to you guys, because it started out, cold calls, and you're still doing that, but trying to get these sponsors and trying to get everything. And it's just a testament to both of your work ethics and your character. Now it's like, I'm gonna make a few cold calls, but as long as we keep our work ethic and do what we promise, we're gonna have these guys repeat every year after year.
Yep. And that's exciting.
That's exciting for you guys.
I mean,
100%.
To see some of the whales, in the industry come out to Pew Party, and then in the end come up to you and shake your hand and say, we're really happy we came, and we'll go anywhere you go.
Guys, can I be selfish? Can I be selfish? Cool. Guys, Pew Party 4, can I be selfish? San Antonio has a lot of people, a lot of influencers, a lot of
motherfucker right here just don't want to drive.
Idaho doesn't have anybody.
Right. So
Yeah.
Grand Thumb has a lot of Grand Thumb
Yeah,
does
Grand
own a lot
Thumb's
of
up
land
here.
out there.
That's about it.
So,
but-
so what we will tell
Grand
you
Thumb
about
only
San
lives 7.
Antonio is we actually did a site visit out there. That was the first place we flew to for a site visit when we knew we were going to do it in
For
Texas.
Pew Party 3, yeah. Yeah.
Now we found a place. You know what the determining factor was for that location?
What?
I ran out of so my Tesla ran out of a battery, basically. I was out in the middle of nowhere. My Tesla died.
No charger.
And he didn't have no charger in the first Tesla.
First world problem.
Hey,
I got it right here.
Champagne
this
problem.
shit is so funny, bro.
Yeah.
This shit is so funny, bro, because like we were giving Jay shit about the Tesla, right? Before the battery thing. Let me tell you, when Jay lost battery in Tesla, we stayed in the same hotel. Jay could have called me and said, "Hey, bro, come back and get me." Pride. He just stayed out there.
Man, hey.
Yo, did they bring the charger that was powered with the diesel generator to hook you up?
109 degrees. Okay,
Oh.
109 degrees. If look, the battery died. I coasted on an off ramp right into the gas station and parked, and it literally was done right there. Now, funny thing is this, right? Fortunately, I let my window down, because otherwise I would have had to break the window just to get out of the car. I learned that valuable lesson about a Tesla. If you run out of battery, everything dies, right? And it,
Oh, come on, Elo.
mind you, it's 109 degrees. So, like you said, I could have called PewCulture, but I was determined to see it through because I just had to.
He was like, I ain't never going back to San
12
Antonio.
hours
You gotta
later,
stand on your own.
12
dude.
hours later, I make it back to my hotel, catch a Uber, get back to the hotel, man. I'm just like, look, I'm done. I'm going to bed, man. I don't want to do nothing else. I don't want no food. I don't want anything.
Damn.
But yeah, so we're not coming to San Antonio, man.
So speaking of
San Antonio.
So speaking of San Antonio and speaking of Texas, there's a lot of creators. There's a lot of big people in Texas.
My boyfriend.
So, yeah, your boyfriend's there. So one of my questions to you guys is, if you could call out who you would like to see one person show up to help make an impact at this year's Pew Party, who would you like to see show up?
We want to answer from each of you.
All right, you first.
Shaq
Shaq.
gun buyback program at the
Oh, dude,
Brandon Herrera and Donut
Brandon bombed
murdered
it.
Right.
Brandon and
kicked him
Donut
out.
bombed it.
Right.
Yeah.
They
Dude.
knew who he was. They're like, get the hell out of here.
Yes.
Man.
All right,
So
so
Shaq.
All right, so
Yep, with his gun buyback program.
We're tagging him in this.
right. All right, so
Come on, Shaq.
man, this is hard. So, of course, I would say Coleon, man. Coleon, a lot of respect for him
homie.
and everything that he's doing in the industry.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, really cool guy. Now, I would say Coleon would be my first choice. Second, if I can choose two, can I choose another one?
Yeah, go
one
ahead.
of my favorite,
Yes, you can.
One of my favorite gun tubers out there right now. And I would even put him before Coleon, but however, I want to show love to Coleon because he's literally local. He's right there. But
Yes,
one of my favorite influencers right now, who every time I see a video drop, I'm clicking on that video and I'm watching because that first 5 minutes is going to be ridiculous. Is Garand Thumb.
Yes.
Flannel Daddy.
Yes.
Flannel Daddy.
Ooh, flannel
That
daddy.
would be great. That would be great. And it wouldn't hurt. Somebody that I hope shows up, because I have a lot of competition style questions for him, is the homie Twista, man. I want to see him show out because I actually want to shoot against him. He's going to
I
kill me.
DM'd him.
But I want
DM'd
to
him. I'm
shoot
like, bro,
against him.
I DM'd him. I did
I
DM
wanna
him.
shoot
I'm like,
against
bro,
him.
are you going to PewCulture? I asked him.
Bro, freaking Adam has no shame about sliding in this man's DMs.
No, dude.
No,
Adam will
I
slide
slide
anybody's DM, dude.
I'm going to tell
Anybody.
you.
Okay,
He
first of
doesn't
all, he does
care.
follow me. He does follow me,
Right,
so
right.
I'm
That's
not
true.
sliding it.
Right.
We
That's
follow
true.
each other. We're cool.
Hey, shut up.
Your boy, your boy.
I'm going to tell you.
That's my
Juan.
dude.
But if you don't
Juan,
have
I'm
your
gonna tell
DM
you right
locked down,
now,
Adam
DMs.
will slide in it.
It's not just DMs. Adam will slide in.
Yo,
Get him where you
He is a
fit
corner,
in.
right? So I mean, he's a
Yo.
Mhm.
I need a picture of Adam and the song in the back. It goes down in the DMs.
Oh God.
Bro, they call me Silver Bull for a reason. The reason why my Instagram is Silver Bull is for a reason.
Right.
Man. Well, I think I think that's definitely that's up Adam's. That's definitely up his alley. God.
We want the gun
my
cam.
God.
Hey, but no joke though. I did DM them. We want the gun cam. Having the gun cam come down would be awesome.
Right, man. Salute to the gun camp.
That would
Man.
be
We saw them
super
at
cool.
SHOT Show. I can't confirm or deny whether they'll be there, but I tell you what, they're definitely welcome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, man. And if you show up, anybody from gun camp, if you see this dude in the middle, Adam, just turn and walk. I mean, just turn and walk. He's
Don't give him
gonna
your
like
digits.
get your number or try to give you his number, give you his OnlyFans. He's gonna do all that shit. Like
Then
you
you'll
like
end up
feet.
on that.
Hey, make sure
I got to
make sure you
check
got to
this
get that interaction on camera, right? You got to get that on camera.
Oh,
Bro,
got you.
by the way, guys, if you don't realize, the three of us are going to have literally headsets on with GoPros. Like, we have ears with GoPros on. We're going to be those dumb motherfuckers walking around. Yeah, we're all out there.
Y'all
Don't
gonna be
worry.
like, who are those stupid dudes? And it's like, that's us.
At least they know
Yeah.
who we are at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys are doing.
So-
you guys are going to do like a podcast type thing there, or if I'm not mistaken.
So what we're planning on doing is just like you said with SHOT Show, and it was all scheduled. We've got a big schedule. We're going down there, like I said. We'll be down there Friday. We're going to try to do some range time there, and then if you guys need any help as far as, just setup or just anything you guys need, because I know what goes into putting on a show, not of this caliber, but I know what it goes into it. So just anything. We plan on hanging out at the Glow Skeet.
Yeah, Friday night. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're going to go back to the house and do a little after party, just a little get together. We are going to film a podcast at some point Friday or Saturday. And then on Saturday, what we're doing, we've already got it scheduled. We're documenting everything
Right.
from the flights to you guys to the time we get back home. Everything is going to be videoed. And what could be cool is we're going to do a documentary, basically, of Pew Party.
Oh man, that's amazing. You guys,
From
we're
three
gonna
perspectives.
we're gonna do a documentary, and then what we're gonna do is on the night that podcast goes live, kind of like how you see all five of us here. We're actually gonna have it with us three, and then the fourth screen is going to be the documentary. And we're going to play it, and we're going to provide live commentation and talk about it. And we may reach out to you guys at some point to just kind of say, hey, you don't have to sit here and watch the whole thing. Give us, hop on and give us 5 minutes. And just kind of like, let's watch a section, or let's watch this, or especially if we catch a fail.
Yeah.
Like if Adam professes his love to Twista and Twista says, get the fuck out of here. Like, y'all have to like at least,
Bro,
well,
I wanna be a
he's not
celebrity
going to
Love you,
say it.
Adam. Always
Can I be
shooting
a
your shot,
celebrity
bro.
That's what he's going to tell Adam.
Yo,
y'all lit, man. That's crazy.
this man.
Yeah,
So-
so we're going to do that documentary. We really want to do that as the next podcast. So during it, we're not going to per se sit down and do a podcast. The entire weekend is going to be a podcast. So if you see us and we walk up and we're like, hey, you got 5 minutes? If you say, hey, not right now, give me about 10 and come back, that's fine. But expect tell me what you're feeling right now. Tell me what's going on. What's the vibe? And it's just going to be a constant
Right.
long-term podcast. It's going to be fun.
We're gonna shoot some vertical, some widescreen for YouTube. So we're gonna have like Instagram and YouTube content. So
And
definitely gonna
anything
share
you
it,
guys want, we're not professional by any means. We do
We'll
some
share
good
it,
shit. but we're not
100% share it with
professional.
y'all.
Any footage or anything of that, I mean, it's y'all's event. If y'all want some footage and we have it, you're like, dude, I
can
love
have
that. Can we have that unedited? We'll send it to you.
Hey, so let me give you guys some love real
So-
quick, man, and give you your flowers, man, because what I love about you guys, man, even the level of professionalism leading up to this podcast was done like months in advance. And literally every email,
Oh, we're hungry.
email was specific. It was timely, it was specific, and it had a purpose. So I just want to give you guys credit, man, and just your flowers for just
Thank
the
you.
level of attention to detail that you put into this. And you guys will be big. I can guarantee you.
Well, it's
Thank
just
you.
it's well, first off, it's professionalism, and second off, it's common courtesy. I mean, we know that some of the guys that we talk to, including yourselves, there's a lot of people that are really busy and don't have that this hour that you've given us, or hour and 20 minutes right now, or whatever. You could be over there, Jay, with the person to the right of you right now. Like, I get it. Like, your wife is right there. Like, you could be spending time with her. So we are very appreciative of the time. And, you know, Juan, I don't know what you're doing. You might just try to put all 10 of those fucking hats on at once and run around and LARP in your underwear. Whatever you do, bro, do you.
LARP time.
But we understand and we are very appreciative of that. So
we are.
We try to say, hey, we're going to be professional, and we're going to say, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're talking about. So there's no curveballs. So there's no craziness. You know that we're about our business. You know, we've created basically an outline for you. So that's what we want to do. So we appreciate it, but that's how we treat every guest, whether they're huge or whether they're, you know, little like me, whatever. We don't care.
There's a lot of locked doors and a lot of gatekeepers in this community. And we're trying to break through that. We're trying to also, you know, open doors for the guy behind us, even though we're still small. And so when someone, guys like yourselves who definitely have a following, have been there, are out there in the industry doing it, you turn around and you hold the door for us, it means a lot. And so we appreciate that.
So to touch on gatekeepers, right? So I was at I think last year I was at a local gun show. I haven't been to a gun show in a long time, but I stopped in there. And so this guy's stall or whatever his setup, he's next to another person who used to own a store in my area, right? He lost the store. But so the guy next to him is talking to me, and he's trying to get me to do some business with him, right? And I'm not particularly interested, but I listened to what he said as a common courtesy, right?
Right.
So the person next to him comes up and he says, "Hey, take my card. I'd love to work with you. I call him by, before he hands me the card, I call him by his name. I said, let's say his name was Adam, right?
Right.
So I said, for sure, Adam. And he goes, "Do you know me?" I said, I do know you. I said, when I went to buy my first real gun, so when I went to buy my first Glock, you refused to sell me the Glock because you asked me if I was a U.S. citizen, and I told you that you I said you refused to sell me my first Glock, and you asked me if I was a U.S. citizen. I said, you don't have to be a citizen to buy a gun, and you said to me, well, I just don't feel comfortable selling it to you if you're not a citizen, so unfortunately I'm not going to sell you the gun, right? So, and I respected that, and I went somewhere else and I bought the gun somewhere else, right? So I mean, imagine how awkward that was for him at the time, right? He was definitely a gatekeeper, right? But he actually lost his shop. And then, now he does shows once in a while and that kind of stuff. But look at the difference from then to now. That was over, 15 years ago. And now today, gatekeepers, if there's ever a message for people, don't be discouraged by gatekeepers, push through, if you love what you do, keep doing what you do. Don't be discouraged by negativity, by animosity, by hate. Many people have tried to block Jay and I, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, it's a little annoying, but we always sit back and we say, listen, man, we have already proven that we can't be stopped. Right?
Just watch.
So why even get butthurt about it? Just let them do what they do, if there's ever a message for people watching, please, gatekeepers, they will always be, right? But push through, keep going, and smile and enjoy your time and do it gracefully.
Yeah,
yeah.
if that door's closed for somebody, if what you're trying to do is legit, there is always going to be a door open for you in the 2A.
Yep.
It may not be the closest door to you, but there is always a door. And if there's not, get it someone like Jay, like Juan, like us, that if you're not getting through one of those doors, ask us and let us vet you real quick. Let us say, I don't see why they're not doing that. Go talk to this homie right here. Or go see that dude right there. I can't spend a lot of time on this because I'm a busy guy, but go talk to that guy. He'll take care of you.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing we've learned.
So a
in this
message
industry.
on gatekeepers, man, just to close this out, right? Think about it. If someone can effectively gatekeep upon you, and you probably don't want to be inside that door. You probably don't want to be there, right? Because they're not going to match your energy. They're not going to match your purpose. They're not going to match your drive. If they successfully got that person to close that door on you before they had a chance to interact with you and have that experience for yourself, whether it's a company or another individual, let them have it. Because you're better off without it.
Yeah, you get
next
a
door.
Like, at that moment, you may feel as if there's something that you could do, some impact that you could have with that particular company or person, but ultimately, it's just not going to do you any good because the relationship and the energy is not going to mesh. So just shake it off and keep on moving. Man. Keep on moving.
Yep.
Well, speaking of that and the gatekeeping and the doors being opened, Jay, Juan, I definitely appreciate you guys opening your doors to us.
Amen.
I definitely appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Mike,
and
before we close this out, Mike, before we close this out, there's one thing that did not happen. Jay, you did say who you wanted to come to Pew Party. PewCulture, real quick, before we close this out. PewCulture.
he said
Who-
Shaq.
Okay, besides Shaq.
Give us a real one.
Damn, Shaq
give us
ain't
a real-
real.
Yeah.
What the hell?
In your heart, who would make your
Shaq
day
and
if they
Ted-
showed up?
Real quick
Shaq
before we
ain't
close
showing
this
up.
out.
Come on.
Yeah, Shaq ain't showing up.
PSA, Shaq, if you don't show up,
Yeah.
you're bullshit.
So that's a pretty cool question, because it's interesting because Pew Party was never designed to focus on mega influencers, right? It was Pew Party is designed to take experiences that traditionally was afforded to these huge individuals and bring them to the average person. So you don't see us reaching out to any big people and trying to get them to come. That's not how we operate, and it's not because we love those individuals. I'll tell you something, man. I'm the biggest fan of Hickok 45.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I am the biggest fan of Hickok 45, man. Like
Oh, yeah. We all
if
are.
anybody watches my content, I do long shots, and that is one of my main things I do, and I really was inspired by Hickok 45 to do that, right?
Hell yeah.
So I would say, that would be pretty cool if Hickok 45 just showed up and be like, yeah, I'm at Pew Party, right? However, that is not the focus. The focus is the average person who doesn't have the greatest voice, doesn't have the greatest impact. And for me, there was a guy at Pew Party 1 who was in a wheelchair, and he shot a belt-fed
249.
a 249, right, out of this wheelchair. And I think that would warm my heart so much if he showed up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
You heard that.
So it's really it's for the people who get overlooked, man. And if I can see, the more of those people I see, I feel like I'm doing something.
Right. So excellent point.
Yeah, you don't
You're a
need that
passionate man,
validation.
Pew.
Yeah, you don't need that validation.
You're a
Both of you guys
passionate
are doing something
Yeah,
great.
yeah. PewCulture's better than all of us. You're just a better person than all of us, and respect.
Look, there's no better answer than that, man. But he's right though, man. We never took the time. We never made it about. That's why in our marketing, you've never seen us in our marketing say, this person's gonna be there, that person's gonna be there. Even like Black Rambo shows up to Pew Party 2, but you haven't even heard any mention of whether he's gonna be at Pew Party 3 or not. Because we don't want to clout chase or play off and try to convince people to come based on an individual. We want them to genuinely be there because you want to come and be a part of what we have going on.
He wants to be there.
That's beautiful.
And honestly, man, like, we get so many people walking up to us who we don't know, and, walk up to us. We've never seen them on the internet. They don't have a huge following. And when they tell us what this means to them, bro, that's bigger than any mega person coming out. That's bigger than any, I've seen so many, certain times, maybe you're busy, right? You're busy, you have stuff that you need to do, and you have that one person who stops you and they just want, a second of your time, and you can tell that moment means so much to them. And you stop the whole fucking world just to give them that moment, bro. Like, to me, that is what it's about.
Think about this, right? Let's say a Grand Thumb or a Coleon Noir or a Shaq Diesel or a Hickok 45 showed up, right?
Yeah.
So think about it. Are they going to be equally impressed with shooting out of a helicopter versus that one average Joe?
Man,
I'm going to tell you, if
deep.
Shaq's big ass shows up, I'll pay for him to get in that helicopter because I want to see it.
It won't get off the ground. It won't get off the ground.
A foot off either side. He's gonna have a foot hanging off either damn door. But let's do it.
I respect that so much, guys. I really respect that. That's deep, and y'all are some good motherfuckers. That's all I'm gonna say.
Some nice dudes.
Man, well, I think that's a good spot to end this on, guys. So we will let all of you guys get back to life. Us as well as you guys. So definitely. Before we close out, tell the people where they can find you and where they can find Pew Party.
All right, guys, make sure you guys tap into @_Jay the Shooter on Instagram, Jay the Shooter on YouTube. Pew Party 3 is going down. Pew Party 3 powered by Silencer Shop. Q, HK, B&T. Some of your favorite whales going to be there, man. You want to be there. You want to come and look, man. It's going to be stupid. Let me just say it like this: shooting out of helicopters, fully automatics, everything. It's going down. Let's go. Pew Party 3.
Say less. Guys, that just about does it. What a great show. What great insight from Jay and Juan.
Homies.
Dude, yeah, definitely homies. Can't wait to meet them in person, shake some hands. But, just hearing their story, hearing about their goals, their aspirations, what they're trying to do, they're definitely our kind of people. We can't really wait to get down there and hang out and get to learn more about them.
Freaking jacked.
Yeah. Before we close out, Matt, why don't you tell everyone where they can find us?
Hey, make sure to tap in on all the sources. So Instagram, we are at Whiskey and Windage. If you're here, that means you're already on Spotify, on Google or Apple Podcasts, or listening or watching on YouTube. That's Whiskey and Windage. But also, don't miss out on Whiskey and Windage reviews. That's where we touch everything. We're shooting guns. We're testing out new gear. Go over and check out the YouTube channel, Whiskey and Windage Reviews. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and that notification bell to get all the latest from us.
Well, Adam, I've got nothing else, so why don't you close us out, brother?
Guys, appreciate you all. And once again, as I always say, stay dangerous, carry a weapon, and we'll talk to you soon.